Have you ever found yourself in a quiet moment, reflecting on your relationship, wondering if the unease you're feeling is just in your head, or if there are real signs it's time to walk away? But what the data and experiences from men like you reveal is reassuring. At our age, recognizing when a relationship isn't serving you isn't about giving up. It's about claiming the peace and respect you've earned. A survey from AARP shows that men over 50 who exit toxic dynamics often find greater happiness and health in their later years. They report lower stress levels and stronger social connections. It's not failure, it's wisdom. Today, we're going to walk through 6 specific research-backed signs that if your woman does these, it's time to leave her. These aren't just opinions, they're patterns observed by experts, in studies, and in the stories men share. By the end, you'll have the tools to evaluate your own situation with clarity and confidence. Before we unpack these signs, I want to know where your head is at. If you've ever questioned whether to stay or go in a relationship, just type yes in the comments below. If you're confidently spotting these issues now, type sure. This isn't a test, it's a pulse check. Knowing where you're starting from helps me immensely. Let's start with the first sign. She constantly criticizes you. Picture this. You come home after a long day, proud of handling a tough situation at work. Instead of support, she jumps in with, "Why did you do it that way? You always mess things up." It's not about one off day, it's a pattern where nothing you do seems good enough. This chips away at your self-worth, leaving you doubting your own judgment. Why does this happen? As relationship expert Dr. John Gottman explains in his decades of research, criticism is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in relationships. It's not just nagging, it's attacking your character. And his studies on thousands of couples show it predicts breakup or divorce with over 90% accuracy. In men over 50, this often stems from unresolved resentments on her side, perhaps from her own past disappointments. But here's the thing, you've built a life of accomplishments. You don't need to prove yourself daily. Many men in forums like Reddit's Dating Over 50 threads share how they ignored this early only to realize later it eroded their emotional strength. It's normal to want harmony, but tolerating constant criticism isn't love, it's erosion. Affirm this: you deserve a partner who sees your value, who builds you up, not tears you down. If this is happening, it's a clear signal to protect your peace and consider leaving. Remember, leaving doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're strong enough to choose better. Moving to the second sign, she tries to control your decisions and daily life. Imagine this, you're planning a weekend with old friends, something that recharges you. She insists on tagging along, or worse, guilts you into canceling because it doesn't fit her schedule. Suddenly, your choices, from what you wear to how you spend your time, are up for debate. This isn't partnership, it's control. Experts note this behavior often escalates, leading to isolation from your support network. As outlined in resources from Psychology Today on mature dating, controlling tendencies in partners over 50 can stem from insecurity or past traumas, but they create an unbalanced dynamic where your autonomy suffers. Surveys from platforms like eHarmony highlight that men who experience this report higher anxiety and lower relationship satisfaction. You've earned your independence through years of experience. Why surrender it now? Men in similar situations, sharing on sites like marriage.com, often say they normalized it as caring, but it left them feeling trapped. Normalize this. It's okay to have boundaries. A healthy relationship respects them. If she's crossing yours repeatedly, it's time to reclaim your freedom. You're not obligated to fix her issues. Leaving preserves your sense of self. Now, the third sign, she shows financial secrecy or instability that impacts you. Think about this scenario. You're building a future together, maybe discussing shared expenses or retirement plans, but she dodges questions about her finances or suddenly asks for loans without clear repayment. Perhaps bills pile up on her end, pulling you into the mess. This isn't just practical, it's a red flag for deeper issues. According to insights from Global Counseling Solutions, financial instability in dating over 50 often signals unresolved habits or even exploitation, with studies showing it leads to strained relationships in 40% of cases. AARP reports echo this, noting that men in this age group are particularly vulnerable to partners seeking financial security at their expense. You've worked hard for your stability. Why risk it? In men's groups on Reddit, stories abound of ignoring early signs only to face significant losses later. It's common to want to help, but if it's one-sided, it's not partnership. Affirm your worth. You deserve transparency and equality. If this persists, leaving protects what you've built. If this conversation is hitting home, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It tells the algorithm this conversation matters. Let's move to the fourth sign. She dismisses your feelings or experiences. Envision a heartfelt talk. You've opened up about something weighing on you, maybe stress from work or a health concern. Instead of listening, she brushes it off with, "You're overreacting," or changes the subject to her own issues. It's not occasional distraction, it's a consistent invalidation of your emotions. This leaves you feeling unseen and alone, even in the relationship. Why does this occur? As discussed by psychologist Dr. Harriet Lerner in her book, The Dance of Anger, emotional dismissal often roots in avoidance of vulnerability, and research from the American Psychological Association shows it correlates with higher rates of depression in partners over 50. In their studies on mature couples, this pattern predicts emotional disconnection in 70% of cases. For men like you who've navigated life's ups and downs, this can feel especially jarring because you've learned the value of honest sharing. Yet, in online communities like the men's health forums, guys recount how they downplayed it as her way, only to realize it starved the relationship of true intimacy. It's natural to hope for change, but if it's chronic, it's eroding your emotional health. Affirm this. Your feelings matter. You've earned a space where they're honored. If she's not providing that, leaving opens the door to real connection elsewhere. How many relationships have you seen falter, not from a lack of spark, but from a profound lack of peace? If you know the answer, you understand the necessity of this point. Self-knowledge means recognizing when dismissal isn't love, it's neglect. The fifth sign, she isolates you from friends and family. Picture planning a family gathering or a night out with buddies. She makes excuses to skip it, or worse, creates tension that makes you choose between her and them. Over time, your circle shrinks and you're left relying solely on her for companionship. This isn't healthy interdependence, it's isolation. Experts like those at the National Domestic Violence Hotline note that isolation tactics, even subtle ones, are common in unbalanced relationships. And a study in the Journal of Marriage and Family found that men over 50 in such dynamics experience increased loneliness and health declines. The research tracked couples for years, showing isolation leads to weakened support systems in over half the participants. At our stage, your relationships outside the partnership are lifelines built over decades. Why let them fade? In dedicated Facebook groups for divorced men over 50, stories flood in of men who ignored the signs, regretting the lost connections later. It's common to think it's temporary or that she's just insecure, but if it persists, it's controlling your world. Normalize this. You deserve a full life with room for all your bonds. A true partner encourages them, doesn't compete with them. If this is your reality, leaving restores your network and your independence. Remember, peace comes from balance, not isolation. Now, the sixth sign, she refuses to communicate or resolve conflicts. Think of an argument brewing. You try to talk it out calmly, suggesting compromise. She shuts down, gives the silent treatment, or escalates to yelling without listening. Conflicts linger unresolved, building resentment. This isn't just disagreement, it's a breakdown in basic partnership. As renowned therapist Esther Perel points out in her work on modern relationships, poor communication is a top killer of long-term bonds. And data from the Gothman Institute's longitudinal studies reveal that couples who avoid resolution see divorce rates spike to 80% after age 50. These patterns often stem from learned behaviors or fear of confrontation, but they trap you in cycles of frustration. You've gained wisdom over the years, knowing talk heals. Why settle for less? Men sharing in Reddit's relationship advice threads for over 40s often say they tolerated it for stability, but it drained their emotional reserves. It's okay to expect maturity. If she's unwilling to engage, it's not sustainable. Affirm your strength. You can seek a relationship where words build bridges, not walls. Leaving honors that. This next sign is a profound one, and if you're still with me, I'd love your take. Comment "still here" below. It genuinely helps me gauge what content is most valuable for you, so I can create more of it. So these aren't just random observations, they are patterns noted by researchers, coaches, and men themselves. Your peace and respect are non-negotiable now. I'm curious, which of these 6 signs resonated most with you, or is there another sign you've spotted in your experiences? Share your story in the comments. If this conversation added value to your day, please let me know by liking the video. It makes a real difference. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to join this growing community of men seeking clarity and confidence. Hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. Thank you for your time and attention, and I'll see you in the next video.